Hayward Podworks. 100 shows, one vision.
Our sources explain it all. For more information on upcoming shows or to suggest shows, email brianhayward2026@gmail.com. And now let's get into our show. Hayward Podworks is vision, deep dives into any topic.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are grabbing the steering wheel because we are diving deep into, well, the ultimate concept of personal accountability.
It's all about managing and commanding your own destiny.
Exactly. We're using the source material, Command Your Life, and it sets this foundational premise right from the start. The life you're living. It's your own making. You are the sole driver.
And that premise is so powerful because for a lot of people, that steering wheel feels a little wobbly, or maybe they feel like they're just stuck in neutral.
Right.
So our mission in this deep dive is to really synthesize the necessary steps. We'll go from identifying those mental traps that keep you paralyzed, the text calls it inertia, all the way to mastering the self-discipline you need to actively shape your path.
Okay, let's unpack this immediately. Let's start with the baseline. Taking charge. You can't command your life if you don't even know what it looks like to be fully in control.
And the authors present this fascinating paradox right out of the gate.
They do. They ask you to look around. You probably know people who do the exact same work day in, day out, year after year, and they seem completely satisfied.
Totally content. And that's fine. But then there's the other side of the coin. People with that constant subconscious ache for more.
That feeling of letting potential go to waste.
Yeah.
A nagging sense that you should be achieving something greater.
Yes. And if you fall into that second group, the source says that feeling, that ache, is actually a major engine for change. But first, you have to overcome what it calls inertia.
So what is inertia, really?
It's the biggest challenge. Not because it's some big sudden event, but because it's a system of self-deception, really. It's the habit of making excuses and rationalizing why you aren't taking steps to maximize your potential.
So the first battle is just stopping that internal argument.
It is. And to help you figure out if you're stuck, the text offers some really sharp diagnostic questions. They're not just, a checklist. They're about honest self-reflection. Okay, so are you someone who starts new courses or skills with a huge burst of energy, but then you leave them midway? Or do you always delay projects waiting for that last-minute anxiety to kick in?
Oh, that's a big one.
No.
Or lingering in the past, looking back with longing to old jobs or relationships or times that just seemed better.
Exactly. It's like always looking in the rearview mirror when you should be focused on the road ahead. It's a huge trap.
Yes.
Do you find yourself complaining about not having enough time, yet you still spend hours just sort of moving like a zombie or endlessly scrolling, just trying to fill a void?
Right.
And here's the most surprising one for me. You spend a lot of time watching the lives of famous people, learning all the intimate details of their journeys, hoping that consuming their success will somehow fill the gap in your own life.
Wow. If any of those strike a nerve, the message is pretty clear.
It's time to choose action over stagnation. The core shift is realizing that being in charge means you choose how you view your situation.
And the source has this great warning. That perceived safety of the shore, that comfortable spot, it might actually be more damaging than anything else. Comfort can be corrosive.
So if comfort is corrosive, the next question has to be, once you decide to leave that shore, what actually drives you to action? What's the engine?
That would be motivation.
Mm-hmm.
The force that compels people to act, dictates behavior, and influences your ability to accomplish goals.
And the source spends a lot of time on this, highlighting that motivation is not a single universal force. It's highly personalized.
It's your own personal fuel.
Exactly. And they break it down brilliantly into 6 types, We can group them into, say, extrinsic, so external forces, and intrinsic, the internal drives.
Okay, let's start with extrinsic.
The first two are fear and incentive. Fear is, well, it's what it sounds like. It's driven by negative consequences. Punishment.
The stick.
The stick. It's often used when incentives fail. Think about penalties in school or professional warnings. You act to avoid the bad outcome.
And incentive is the carrot. The second type. This is all about measurable rewards, promotions, money, bonuses.
Right. It gets you moving because you see a tangible prize. But the authors suggest that while fear and incentive can get you started, they're energetically expensive. You have to keep applying the stick or dangling the carrot.
So true command comes from the internal stuff, the intrinsic motivators.
That's where it's at. The third type is growth. This is that deep, inherent desire to improve yourself, to learn, to seek change. It argues we're basically wired to dislike stagnation. If you're not moving forward, you feel bad.
And that connects perfectly to the fourth type, achievement, or the drive for competency.
Yes. This one is purely intrinsic. It's the drive to attain goals, take on challenges, and just prove your capability. Not for a reward, but for the feeling of accomplishment itself.
The fifth type they mention is social. This one seems pretty broad.
It is. It covers everything from the simple desire for acceptance and belonging, affiliation, all the way to the passionate desire to contribute and make a difference in the world.
Okay, and the last one. Number 6 is power.
All right, and this can go two ways. The positive side is the desire for autonomy. Control over your own life and future, that's essential for self-command.
And the negative side.
The desire to control others, and the source is very clear here. It warns that this craving can lead to some really immoral, illegal, or harmful behavior.
So it's about control over yourself and your circumstances, not control over people.
That's the key distinction. You're harnessing the positive side of power to gain autonomy over your own time and choices, so outside forces have less and less say over your path.
Which makes perfect sense. So identifying your personal fuel, which of those 6 really lights you up, that's the real starting point.
Once you have the fuel, you need an engine and a map.
Organization. This is where it's practical. The text highlights a really common trap. You set this enormous big thing goal, and then you just forget all the smaller steps.
And then you feel stuck because you don't see any daily progress. It's just this huge, scary mountain.
So how do you organize to prevent that overwhelm?
First, you have to accept that the big goals, financial, educational, career, they require time and effort, a lot of it. But to build confidence, you don't start with the hardest ones.
You start with easier goals first.
Exactly, like changing an attitude or just scheduling time for something you enjoy. Build that early momentum.
What's the tactic for the big stuff?
Create a master list of all your goals based on importance. But here's the crucial step. You need a separate sheet for every single major goal.
A separate sheet.
Physical or digital, doesn't matter. And on that sheet, you detail every single smaller goal and action required to accomplish the larger one.
Ah, that's brilliant. It transforms a massive goal into just a series of things you can actually do.
And they suggest you keep this list somewhere portable like your phone so your map is always with you.
So once the map is drawn, we have to generate momentum, get the car moving.
And this part is critical. The authors stress that inaction has a real consequence. Every single day, you are either moving closer to your goal or further away.
Doing nothing doesn't keep you still.
No, it actively increases that inertia we talked about earlier.
So to combat that, the source gives 6 really powerful steps for generating daily movement. The first 2 are all about vision.
And they have to be highly specific. Step 1, have a clear picture. It's not enough to want a better job. You have to define it. The title, the pay, the responsibilities, the feeling of being in that job.
And step 2 is visualize success.
Yes. And not just wishful thinking. You allot specific time to vividly visualize reaching the goal. Write down the emotional details, the sensory details. This is your mental fuel for when you get discouraged.
Okay, steps 3 and 4 are where the psychology really kicks in, the pleasure and pain principle.
Exactly. Step 3, incorporate immense pleasure. You have to associate intense, overwhelming joy with getting that goal. How will you feel? How will you celebrate? That future pleasure has to be real enough to pull you out of your comfort zone now.
And then you use the dark side as a push. Step 4, associate extreme pain with failure.
Use the pain of not achieving it, what you'll lose, the regret, how you'll see yourself as a major push.
It's the classic college essay example.
It is. The student writes it not because they love writing at 2 a.m., but because the pain of failing the course is so much stronger than the comfort of watching TV. You have to harness that urgency.
It's using that gut-wrenching pain of failure as motivation before the deadline, not just at the deadline.
It's a powerful psychological hack. The final 2 steps are about daily execution. Step 5. Do important things every day.
One thing, every single day.
One thing. No matter how small, how tired you are, how busy. Consistency builds unbreakable momentum.
And step 6, keep your goals front of mind. Use visible reminders, storyboards, calendar alerts, sticky notes, whatever it takes so the goal doesn't drift out of sight.
And all of this, all 6 steps, they rely entirely on one fundamental skill. The text calls it the primary skill you must master for success.
Time management.
Time management. Without it, you're just reacting to coincidence. You're just doing what other people demand of your time, not what you want.
And mastering it is not just about scheduling. It's about taking ownership of your clock.
The benefits are dramatic and measurable. The source suggests that by being disciplined, cutting out aimless surfing, gossip, all that friction, you can gain 5 additional productive hours every single week.
Wait, 5 extra productive hours a week? That's huge. What does that translate to over a year?
Annually, that's 250 extra productive hours. If you think about a standard 40-hour work week, that is the equivalent of gaining 6 extra weeks of work in a year.
6 extra weeks. Wow. Imagine the progress you could make with 6 extra weeks of focused effort.
It's not just avoiding distractions, it's giving yourself a major piece of your future back.
And beyond the time gain, what else does it provide?
Increased efficiency. You work harder, learn faster, focus better, and paradoxically, that creates more leisure time.
You achieve more while working less.
And you get better relaxation, which fuels the next cycle. And the final benefit is just better control. You avoid those panic deadline emergencies. The goal isn't rigidity, it's freedom.
The freedom of being less dependent on outside chaos. You control your time.
And the shadow side of time management is, of course, procrastination.
Putting things off. Choosing to live with that nervousness and extreme anxiety as deadlines get closer. And the negative effects aren't just about poor work. The text says it touches your health, your finances, your reputation.
Absolutely. The long-term stress compromises your immune system. It can set the stage for much more severe mental health challenges down the line.
And financially, it can be ruinous.
Mounting debt from delayed bills, maybe even passing that burden to your children. And the health risks, the ignored toothache that becomes a root canal, those are direct consequences.
Professionally, you're seen as unreliable, lazy. It damages your reputation, which is one of your most valuable assets.
And here's the core deception of it. Procrastination is the lie you tell yourself that other, less important things hold more weight than the task that truly needs to be done. It's a systemic lack of self-control.
That lack of self-control is the perfect segue to the final solution presented in the text. Self-discipline.
Self-discipline is so often misunderstood. It's not about being harsh or limited. The text defines it as self-control and inner strength. It's the ability to stick to your decisions long after that initial rush of motivation has faded.
What's its core characteristic?
Its primary, most crucial characteristic is the ability to reject instant pleasure and immediate gratification in favor of a bigger, delayed future gain.
That's the entire game right there. The choice between the small pleasure now and the massive success later.
And when you master this, you overcome laziness, you break addictions and negative habits, you fulfill the promises you make to yourself and to others. And the ultimate outcome is a direct, permanent link to self-confidence, self-esteem, satisfaction, and happiness.
So let's bring it all back home for you. This deep dive gives us a really clear, actionable cycle. First, you identify where you're stuck, that dangerous inertia.
Second, you understand what truly motivates you. Pinpoint your personal mix of those 6 forces.
Third, create a structured plan. Those organized goals and the 6 daily steps to generate momentum. And finally, you execute through external control, which is time management, and inner strength, which is self-discipline.
And here's a final thought to consider. If practicing time management gives you that much freedom by making you less dependent on outside events, just think about how much more control you gain by choosing the bigger, delayed reward over instant gratification every single time.
So what's the one major goal you've been delaying because the comfort of today seems safer than the effort of tomorrow?
Self-discipline is the tool to finally finish it.
Apply this knowledge and start commanding your life today. Until next time.
Hayward Podworks. 100 shows, one vision.
All right, this is Hayward Podworks, and that's today's episode. If this helped you, do me a favor, hit follow, leave a quick rating, and share it with one person who'd get value. Want the extras, links, and new drops? Check the show notes. Until next time, stay sharp, stay consistent, and keep building. Hayward Podworks. We'll talk soon.